guys, and welcome to lesson number 25. Today we're going to be talking about transposition from major to major scale. And this probably won't be that hard for you. If you know your intervals and you know your key signatures, you should be pretty good with this. So make sure that you know intervals, circle of fifths very well, and this should be very much of a cinch for you. So let's get started. Okay, so first up, what is transposition and why do we need to use it? Or what's so useful about it? Okay, so transposition is, say you have a piece in, say, F major, okay? Now what if you want that piece to be written exactly the same, but now in a different key, such as A major, or F sharp major, or C sharp major, or, you know, any of those keys. So you want to take that one key, or that one piece, and then change it, like put it into another key. Now, the purpose of doing something like that, there's a few different purposes. One is from going to one instrument to another. So, say you're playing something on flute, and now you need to put it into B flat clarinet, or, I don't know, a violin, or a cello, or whatever. They all have different ranges, and I guess if you're playing solo, it's okay to change it up. But if you are like B flat clarinet and another instrument will have two different pitches inherently, which we'll learn about later. But when you are going from, say, a high instrument to a low instrument and it doesn't fit that instrument's range quite as well, you might want to put it into a different key so that it is easier to play. Like I know with ocarina, like I've got an ocarina that's tuned to the key of C. So if I try to play in G sharp major, or like A flat major, I guess I should say, like A flat major or C sharp major, it just doesn't work very well on the ocarina. So I need to transpose whatever songs that I get into a key that works. So that ocarina plays G major, F major, and C major quite well because they're all closely related keys. So, yeah, that's basically part of what transposition would be good for. Now, another part is if you're doing a composition, say on the piano or other things, and you have a theme. So it's like da da dun dun dun, it's like say that, right? Now, if you want to make it and spice it up, you could transpose it into another key. So it's like da da dun dun dun. See? So now you can move it around, and it can basically have a lot more flavor. You can use the same theme, but it can be transposed into different keys. So transposition is something that composers do a lot of. If you know how to hear it, you can listen for it, and it happens constantly. A lot of popular songs these days even have transposition that goes on in them. Usually towards the end of the piece, they'll do something that a lot of songwriters do, and this is they basically have the piece going on in one key for most of the piece, and then about halfway or close to the end, when they want it to sound like it's come back to a new beginning and it's even better than it was before, they bump everything up, they transpose it up one whole tone. Everything goes up a whole tone. So if it was written in G major before, now it's written in A major. What that does is it moves it up 2 degrees in the circle of fifth, which basically creates an effect. And so this effect actually creates everything so it sounds like it's better, or like it's this new perspective, or it gives it kind of a story kind of feel to it. So it does actually have really cool effects when you can use transposition well. It's very powerful. So transposition is definitely something that you definitely want to know how to do. And we're going to cover how to do it. And it's not that hard. It's just you follow a few simple steps, and if you know a bit of music theory behind that, you can do it no problem. So let's get onto those steps right now. Okay, so step 1 in any form of transposition starts with identifying how much you are going to basically transpose. So there's 2 ways or 2 sides of the coin here. One is you know which key you are in and which key you want to go to, but you don't know the interval of that. Or you know which key you're in and you know how much of an interval you want to go, but you don't know what key you're going to. Okay? Now you need all 3 types of information to be able to do a transposition. So in other words, if you don't have the interval but you have 2 keys, that's not enough. If you have the key but not an interval, then that's not enough either. What you need is an interval, a key, and another key. Now, this is extremely easy because these two bits of information on either side will give you what the other thing is. So basically, say we're at D major here. So what's a major second from D major? Okay, if you guys haven't got it by now, it is E. E major. So if you go from D major to up a major second, you're going to go to E major. Ta-da! So now you know where you're going. That's step one. Now to solve this one, say someone gives you a problem and they say, well, I have my thing written in D, but I need it in G. Can you get that figured out for me? And then you're like, okay, first thing I need to figure out is what is the interval distance between the two? So that is, so D to G, that should be a perfect fourth. So you'd write P4. Okay? Ta-da! Very simple. So that is step one. You always have to do this step first. Now, say someone just gives you, say you're doing composing though, and say you're in D major, but you don't have an interval and you don't have a key. The first thing you should probably think of is you can either think what key you want to be in and then derive the interval, or you can think of how much of an interval you want to get up to and go to your key. So those are two different ways that you approach different answers, and you do them for different reasons. Say you already know which key you want to be in, you have to figure out the interval, but say you already know what interval you want to go up because it has to do with your voicing or your harmony, then you'd want to figure out what key. So that's the two different ways and the two different sides of the coin. So this is step one, okay? So memorize this. Okay, so now we're going to do the next few steps. Okay, so now I've taken D major and E major as the examples. So it's going to go up a major second. Okay, so we already figured that out. So now, after we've done that and we figured out that, that's step one. Step two, now you have to apply the new key signature, because the key signature is going to take care of all the sharps and flats automatically for the change. Automatically. So it makes it way easier. Otherwise, you'd have to apply different sharps and flats. Like here, it's not sharped. Here, it's not sharped either. Okay? So the key signature will take care of the changes for you. So this is what you do. So step two, you're going to throw in, you should already have your D major key signature from your original. Now you're going to copy this out. So you're going to copy the treble clef, same thing, copy the time signature, and you're going to have to alter the key signature to suit the new key. So if it's in E major now, that's F, C, G, D. That's what the key signature for E major is. So you write that in. Okay, so that's step two. Okay, so write the new key signature, and that's step two. Now, step three, check the first note. Oops, I didn't write the, whoops. So anyway, check the first note. So what I mean by that is check your G. Okay, now all you're going to do is you're going to take the interval that you stepped it up by. So say you made it go up a major second. So what's a major second from G up? So a major second up from G is A. So just A, that's it. Okay, now here's the next thing. So that's step three. The next step, step four, is now you compare the intervals between each other. So from this interval here to this is a major third. And from here to here, whoops, it's a major third. But at this point, you don't even have to worry about majors or minors. You can even do it on a basic interval level, because now all you're worried about is the placement, okay? So you just look at it, okay, it's a third and another third above that. So it's a third and then go up a third. Okay, so now you take this note that you already have. This is your base note. And now you just remember the pattern. So if it says go up a third and then up a third, then you just go up a third from that, write that note in, up a third from that, write that note in, and then copy, okay, that was 2/8 notes. Okay, do the same thing. Boom, done. Transposition complete. Okay? Now, what do you need to do next? Well, obviously this is a very simple piece. right? It's like 3 notes. So it can take a lot longer if you are doing this by hand for like a whole 40-minute long symphony with all these different parts and all that other stuff. So that can take quite a while. With this, that's basically the basic steps to doing transposition. It's not any different for a bigger piece, it's just longer and more work. Okay? Now, here's another thing that I want to add, is that when you're doing these, in this case, the stem direction didn't change. But what if I put it up, say, like a fifth? Okay? Well, a fifth from here would be on the D. Now, if I was writing a D up there, could the stem go up or down? It'd have to go down. So now the stem would have to go down for that one, and you have to change the stem direction based on where it lies on the notes. It can't go the same as whatever it goes here, because the stem direction was determined by where the notes were placed in the first one. Here, if it's up high or down low, it has to change depending on where it is, if it's different than that one. Okay? Okay, so the last part that we need to worry about with whenever we're doing transposition from major to major is we've got to worry about accidentals, because they can be a real pain in the butt. You need to actually stop and think about each single one of them. So you have to deal with each accidental totally independently, okay? Now, I've drawn out this example on purpose to be kind of a pain in the butt of where the placement is, okay? So, watch this. Now, this one is in C major, and just say that it goes A to B flat to B natural to C. Just say it's doing some chromatic thing, okay? So it's dun, da, 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 right? Now, because of, so what we're doing now, we're transposing to G major, okay? Now, so first thing we do is it's a perfect fifth, and what's G major's key signature? F sharp. Okay, so now the time signatures are the same. Now, I have to move the first note up, a perfect fifth. So a perfect fifth from A is E. Okay, so now I'm on E. Now, from here to here, I have to go up a note, or go to the next one, like a second. So I go up a second, and then I stay on the same one, and then I go up a second again. Now, here's the problem. Because I have these, it's altering the key signature, which means that it doesn't automatically get corrected when I go into the next key signature. I have to alter it again. So, what's effectively going on here is whatever it naturally was is going down a semitone, and then it goes back to what it was originally. So it goes up a semitone, back to the original one. Now, the original one here is F sharp in the key signature. Now, to go down, well, if you're already sharped, to go natural, you go down, and then you go flat to go down again. So a natural has to go to lower it from a sharp to a natural, and then it goes back up to what it originally was with a sharp. Okay? That's why this looks completely different, why there's a natural and a flat here, where you have a natural and then a sharp. Okay? So you have to think about the relationship of up and down. So if you know that this is naturally one semitone lower than what would have been in the key signature, it has to reflect the same thing in the other. So if you have a flat and it has to go lower, then it might have to be a double flat. If it has to go lower, then it is already flatted, or it could be a double sharp or a natural, depending on what the relationship is. Basically, it has to mimic what it is. So accidentals, each one has to be treated individually. You can't just blow through them like the rest of the stuff. So basically, accidentals can be a pain in the butt to transpose. Anyway, so that's basically how you do that, and that's accidentals. So now let's get on to something else. Homework. No. Okay guys, so for your homework, this is what I'd like you to do. So transpose up 20 key signatures. So an example is, take, say, B major. So you can pick whatever key you want to start with, and then pick an interval that you want to start with, okay? And then put it into another key, like whatever it's supposed to go to. So think B major, okay, and then pick perfect fifth. Now that has to go to F sharp major. Now you have to write the key signatures for B major and F sharp major. So then you just write that, and you'd put it just with just like a treble clef or bass clef with the proper key signature, and then that's it. So just write 20 of those out. Then write 20 intervaled key signatures out. So basically, pick 2 keys and figure out the differences between them in intervals. Okay? So it'd be like, okay, if I am in C major and I wanted to go to E major, what would that interval be? Okay? That one's pretty easy, so that's 20 of them. It should only take like 5 minutes for that one. Okay, and now this one is the main chunk of it. So I want you to write 5 4-bar pieces. So they're going to be 4 bars long. So pick a time signature, pick a clef, all that other stuff. And then write them out with, 8th notes, 16th notes, and whatever. And then transpose each of those pieces into another key. And there you go. So basically pick a key that you want to go into and then transpose into that. Okay? So I think you should have all the tools that you need to do them. Just make sure that it's only from major to major right now, okay? Because it does get different when you do major to minor and stuff like that. So anyway, that's about it. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully that was helpful and explained some things. And now you can have fun transposing stuff for your friends and family. Be like, oh, okay, I'll just transpose that for you because I'm all hardcore. Because, I don't know, some people seem to get all like scared at the word transpose. I think, oh no, it must be very difficult because it's a long word. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.